Making plans, what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk.
Hi, Dumelang. Guys, Dumelang, welcome back to my channel. So I'm standing here because I sort of wanted to have like the snow in the background while I'm, speaking to you guys while we're chatting. Mara. Anyways, guys, welcome back to another video. Like, I believe every time it's gonna be snowing and I'm creating a video for you guys, the video is either going to start with just me showing you the beauty of snow here in South Korea, or it's gonna end with a clip of snow. Guys, today it is a Tuesday morning. I am at middle school. It is, time-wise, it's 20 past 12, so it's gonna be lunchtime in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's gonna be time to go down to the cafeteria, and let's get into today's video. So as you guys know, if you are a returning subscriber, I really do appreciate it. If you are new here and this is the first time that you see my face, then my name is Annah. I am a teacher here in South Korea, and as you guys can all see by the title of today's video, I will be talking to you guys about some of the struggles that I have been experiencing in South Korea as a foreigner or as an expat. So these are some struggles that I had. Some of them are struggles that I'm still experiencing. So let's say, but when I am in front of the camera with you guys and we're doing these type of videos, I do have notes written down because I don't want to go that way when the plan was to go, yeah. So let's start with my very first one that I've noted here is loneliness. So when I'm talking about loneliness here in South Korea, one, I'm referring to you leaving your home country where you have all your friends, all your family, all your connections, your networks, people that you know. You used to going to a specific supermarket or a spaza or a store to buy certain things, and sometimes you may even know the waitress that comes and takes your order, the manager, you guys have chit chats, things like that. You're gonna miss those little things. Even just walking past somebody, greeting them with a smile, and they greeting you back with a smile. I miss people that I don't know who walking past one another to just like smile or have casual conversation, be it at work when I'm going to the staff room, to have a casual conversation with my work colleagues, somebody at work. I miss having work conversations, casual conversations at work. I miss those things, and those are the things that would also contribute to your loneliness here in South Korea. I feel like loneliness is going to be an up and down thing. It comes and it goes throughout your time here in South Korea. There isn't a remedy for it. Like, there really isn't. All of us deal with it in our own unique ways. What works for you may not necessarily work for me, and vice versa. But loneliness, I can tell you right now, just be comfortable that that's going to happen. And when it does happen, be honest and acknowledge that it's happening and go through those feelings and those emotions, and because it's normal. It's normal to feel lonely in a different country. It really is. And I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to be lonely here. You will. You're going to be surrounded by people, especially depending where you go, people that don't speak English and you don't speak Korean. Now, communication is going to be difficult, which means you're going to need a whole lot of help to get around and to figure things out. You may not always have that friendly co-teacher who's going to help you along on this journey. So it's going to make you feel so lonely and so isolated because you don't know things, you don't know how things work, you don't know the language. That video that I posted where it was a sports day here at school, you guys saw people are going about their day having a sports day. It was lots of fun. I'm watching the students and everybody. I also even joined in some of the games, but even though I joined in and even though I had a great time watching the students and seeing them do their thing, I was also feeling like the odd one out. I felt excluded because I'm a foreigner, because I'm an expat, because I don't know the language. That also gave me a feeling of loneliness. of exclusion. When you get invited for school dinners or you go on a work trip. I was on a work trip the other day. Majority of the time, everybody's going to be speaking Korean. Where you're just going to be listening to people talk. So another thing that contributes to the loneliness here. So yeah, loneliness is one of the biggest things that you're going to have to deal with. And it's not something you can just say, yeah, if I do this, I'm not going to feel lonely. You will, because you're away from home and everything that you love and know. Cool. My next one that I'm going to speak about is endless stares. Like, you are going to be stared at here in South Korea. I feel like anything that's just different from the standard code, the standard look, or the standard way of doing things, or the standard way of speaking, anything that is different, you will be stared at. Like sometimes I'll be walking in the streets and obviously there's a car driving. So I'm here on the paving and this car's coming. You'll see the car, it slows down, and now you see the person turning their head and they're just looking at me. And I'll just see that car's just going to stop and look at me until it's gotten the enough looks that it needed, or the car needs to go, or I then move. Like, just know that you are going to be stared at here in South Korea. Again, because you look different. You look different. So vele, especially if it's a small town like mine where they're not used to seeing people that look like me, and then also you come with hair that looks different, people are gonna look at you. So the endless stares isn't just another thing that you're going to experience here in this country, whether it's your skin color, whether it's your hair, whether it's the way that you do your makeup, the way that you dress, your weight, size, like, yeah, all of those things. So the color of your hair, or maybe your nails, I don't know, but all of these different factors about you could just be something that people are just going to stare at here. As long as you look different to the typical Korean person, you will be stared at. Even if you're Korean and you look different to the typical Korean look, you will be looked at and stared at. It's just something that you're gonna have to get used to and comfortable with. And especially if you're in a place where you're the only one that's an expat or foreigner, the only one that's black, yeah, get comfortable with being stared at. What Jessica does is every time we get stared at when I'm with Jess, she waves, eh? She's like, okay, you want to look at me? Sharp, well, let's look at each other. So she also stares back and then she ends up waving. She's like, okay, since you're looking at me, you might as well wave. Let's just... So that's what she does. But what else? I believe I'm okay with the stares. I'm not so self-conscious of it, or I don't feel uncomfortable. If you watched my Get to Know Me video, I speak about how I was raised in a white home in South Africa. So and during my childhood, I was used to being the only black child, well, my sister and I. Whenever they took us out to outings and it was just a room full of white people, or wherever it went, it was just white people, and then it was my sister and myself. You know, so I was used to, sometimes I would be the only black person in the room, my sister and I. So I was used to that already from my childhood. So that's something coming here in South Korea and sticking out like that because of my color, hasn't been extremely uncomfortable because it's something that I'm used to. So yeah, so that's on the stares. Next, we're gonna be speaking about, okay, feeling like the odd one out. I covered that in the loneliness point. Then the other thing that's a struggle as a foreigner is figuring out the recycling process and system here in South Korea. I wish that Epic had some sort of crash course on recycling here in South Korea, because in the beginning, if you get it wrong, you're going to get a warning that tells you that you're going to be fined, and it tells you how much you're going to be fined for. In some certain areas, there's a specific time that you can go throw out trash, specific days of the week and specific time. Then you've got specific bags which has to be used for certain types of waste, other bags for recycling. So there's a lot on recycling here in South Korea because it's taken seriously. Recycling here in South Korea is taken seriously, that there's systems that are in place that you need to follow, like certain bags to use, where to put your waste, how to dispose of your waste, the times and things like that. So trying to figure that out on my own wasn't easy in the beginning, but I feel like I've, sort of figured it out and have a system in place in my own home on what I do with things. But yeah, that's one of the things that was a struggle to figure out in the beginning on my own. And I wish Epic would do some sort of training, or even just spend a few minutes talking about it so we know what to expect and what the standard is, Yeah. Next, I've got catching the bus. Catching the bus here is different. Like, don't think because you're at the bus stop, the bus is going to stop for you. You need to actually, whether you raise your hand like this with your card, or you sort of step on the side of the pavement to show that, yeah, I'm getting on, please stop. Make sure to do that. Otherwise, it will pass right by you. And let's say, for example, you are running towards this bus. You're running late and you're running towards it. And you're thinking, okay, bus driver, you can see me running. You're going to stop. No, Sisi. He goes. So if you're not there at that specific time when that bus is coming, you want to get on it, don't think because you are running, he's going to let you on. Or let's say it's moving and now you coming towards a bus stop. You and the bus driver are coming like this. He's not going to stop for you. It's one of the things I had to realize. And I also realized that as soon as you get on, as soon as you walk into that bus, the bus is starting to move already. So you got to make sure that you are very firm in your feet when you're standing, or hold on to something, because they move. And when it moves, you're likely to fall if you don't make sure that you are standing with your feet on the ground and that you are firmly standing, because you can fall if you're not holding on something. So that's the other thing, is that they move. Like, they're not waiting for you to sit down and get comfortable. The bus moves. It's got to go. They're on a schedule. So yeah, it's been interesting. In the beginning, trying to figure out how to use Neva and things like that, it was a little bit difficult, only because it was new. But now I know how to where to catch my bus number. It makes sense. So yeah, the other thing was catching the bus. What else do I need to tell you about catching the bus? What else? Yeah, I feel like catching the bus, it's a simple thing. I feel like it's just in the beginning when it's fresh and it's new and something you need to figure out for the first time. But once you get on your first 2-3 bus rides, you've got it down and you figured out how that app works, you'll be good to go. So that's not something that's going to continue being a struggle. It's just in the beginning when it's new and you're trying to figure things out. What else do I have for you guys? Banking. So banking here, it hasn't been that difficult to get into. It's just that the way, if I was to do an EFT on my laptop, for example, it asks for a security code, which is on a card that I would need to punch in. But I will do a video where I pay my bills with you guys, so you can see what I do and how I do it, and this card that I'm referring to. So banking here is a little bit different, but it's not complicated. It's not something that you need to worry yourself about. You do not need to worry yourself about it. Issue with banking is that you don't always find English speaking bankers, which makes your life difficult when you get to the bank and you need help. Yes, we can use things like Papago, but sometimes Papago doesn't get it right, especially that terminology of banking. It's so complicated and Papago is not always on point with it. So that's the one thing that I've had an issue with, is when I need to go there and I need to speak to somebody and not being able to speak Korean and understand Korean, and them not being able to speak English has been a little bit difficult. But you find a way around it. You make it work. Eventually, you guys both using papago and body language and showing things, you get to it. You'll figure it out. Once you sort it out in the beginning, when you open your account, you're good to go. You won't have any issues with your banking. Yeah, so it's just going to be the first thing, the first day when you go to the bank and trying to get things sorted in the beginning. But once you've got your things sorted out and you know how your banking works and your accounts and things like that, and you've opened your account, you're fine, you're good to go. Yo, guys, and how can I forget? It's not a struggle. You know what? I'm going to do a separate video about things that I hate about South Korea. But what's really cool is that they send us these alerts, public alerts, and things that we need to be aware of when you're living in this country. Things that are COVID related, crime related, when there was flooding that was happening. So all these kind of alerts, even about the air pollution, anything that the public needs to know about, so we can either change the course of, you know, how you're traveling, where you're getting to, or mask, unmask off, those kind of things that we need to be aware of. They send us alerts on our phones, which is really cool. The only thing is, as a foreigner, it's a struggle because obviously the alerts is also important to me because I'm living in this country. My problem is it's in Korean, so I don't understand what's being said. So if I have to take a screenshot or copy it and then put it into Papago so I can then see, oh, that's what they're trying to tell me. So yeah, that's the only thing. But there's no point complaining about it because obviously this is Korean. They speak Korean here. So I can't expect to receive messages in English, you know? It's like back home, obviously, English is the most widely spoken language in our country, so things get sent in English. Then you obviously we have 11 official languages, but it's not like everything is sent in those 11 official languages or 11 official translations. They just use English. And if a Korean person was to go to South Africa, they're not gonna get it in Korean, they're gonna get it in English. So some of the things I'm just like, Anna, but it is what it is. That's just the way things are. And if it was the other way around, where a Korean person was coming into my country, they would be experiencing the same thing. So, or if not similar. So yeah, that's just what I've got to say about not just the specific one about the alerts being in Korean being a struggle, but I guess for all of those points that I've mentioned about struggles as a foreigner here in South Korea, if I look at it the other way around, say, okay, if a Korean person was to go to my country, would they experience the same, or if not similar struggles as an expat in my own country? So there's another tip for you guys. When you are in South Korea, whichever country you're going to, if you're planning to teach English abroad or whatever, before you want to just judge everything that you're experiencing in that country, and you know, be upset about the struggles that you're going through, be frustrated with the people, be frustrated with processes and procedures, and you know how in the beginning it's gonna take like a lot for you to just figure things out, and find your way around places and things like that. Before you allow yourself to get so frustrated with the whole process, stop and think, if that person were in my country, would they be going through the same thing? And then that way it just gives you a different perspective. It's not say, Korea. Some of it you're gonna just be like, that's just the way that it is. If they were in my country, it'd be like, Sauda. And also, you coming here to another country, don't be coming here and then complaining about certain things and saying, wait. Think about what's happening in your own country. It's not sunshine and roses. So the grass is not always greener on the other side, is the point that I'm trying to make. The grass isn't always greener. So you may be leaving your home, coming to South Korea, whichever country. My point is just that the grass is not always greener on the other side. So don't have all these huge expectations about how your life is going to be so amazing here abroad, and then it doesn't turn out that way, and now you're completely disappointed and not having a good time here. Manage your expectations. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Yeah. Then I'm going to speak about finding clothes that fit. the size of women or even men here in South Korea is different from a country like South Africa, where I'm from. We've got curves, and you don't really find curvy Korean women, at least the curves that we have back home in SA. You know what I mean? So it's been a little bit difficult. For me, it's finding clothes that are from my waist down. Top wise, I've been fine. It's just my waist down which I've struggled with. But hey, again, you'll find shops that work for you. So my sister and I, we shop at Shein. We do also shop, there's a specific shop that we always go to in Pyeongtaek as well that we shop at. But yeah, you'll find stores that have your sizes. You can also just search online. There's a whole lot of online stores as well that you can find clothes on. It's lunchtime. Let's go to lunch. I think that is everything. So the biggest thing struggle-wise is the loneliness, the stares, feeling like the odd one out or being excluded. And in the beginning, making friends is going to be a little bit difficult, especially if you're in a town that doesn't have young people. It's going to be difficult making friends. I don't know if that's just me, but I found it a little bit difficult making friends in the beginning. And I'm not speaking about South African friends or teachers from other countries. I'm speaking about making friends with Koreans. It was a little bit difficult in the beginning. I don't know if that's just me and that's my experience. But now I do have a few friends here, and it's actually contributed to me enjoying my time here, especially when I get to experience their culture and the way they do things, their favorite places, like the kimchi making day. So days like that I really have enjoyed here in South Korea. So yeah, so those are few of the struggles that I'd had in the beginning when I arrived in Korea. In the beginning, it was the banking, figuring out how the trash works, and figuring out where to buy clothes, and catching the bus. So in the beginning, but those things are no longer a problem. The only things that I'm still experiencing every now and then is the loneliness, and that is normal. The feeling like the odd one out or being excluded, that's normal. That's gonna happen. Just expect it. It is now 12:41. It is lunchtime. Let us head outside. I don't know if it's still snowing. If it's not, it's not.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful.
So as you saw, that was lunch. I enjoyed the soup. That was a pork belly soup, so it had some tofu in it, pork belly. There was cabbage, there was mushroom. Coming to South Korea, and especially if you're gonna eat school lunch, you must just get used to eating cabbage and rice. It is always going to be on your plate. It's just one of those things. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you got to this part of the video, I really do appreciate you. Although I do have something to say. If you're a person who you are wanting to come to teach abroad or move abroad or whatever it is, or whatever situation you are currently in your life at the moment, and you know, you obviously you want to get at a certain place or achieve a certain thing, you've got a goal to reach. But before you get there, you hear, this is the waiting period. I just want to say, don't waste your waiting. Don't waste that time. That is the time when, if finances is what's stopping you from you moving to South Korea, wherever it is, use this waiting period for you to get your finances in order, get your life in order, whatever it is, that the steps that you need to take in order to get here. Use this time to do what you need to do to prepare for what you've prayed for. Don't pray for something and then while you're waiting for God to open that door, or maybe it could be another one, but while you are waiting, don't just let that time go to waste. So don't just go out and have a good time and you're living your best life out there, and then when it's time to say, okay, Epic says new applications are open and now you can apply, and you say, okay, now I need to book flights, but there's no money. But you're busy enjoying and living your best life, but you were not preparing that, wait a minute, my best life is there and something I planned for. You need to use this time to prepare. Do what you gotta do now. So that's all I want to say to you guys that are working on moving abroad, but there's a few things that you got to get in order. I just want to say, use this time to get those things in order. Don't let the time just pass by and when you were just my enjoyment, and then it's time now for you to get things into gear, but you can't because you wasted your waiting period. Don't let it go to waste. Do what you got to do to get you to the point that you need to be in order for you to actually pack your bags and leave, or whatever your situation is. Just change what I'm saying to your specific situation. But that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I'm currently working on my next step, and throughout this year there were certain things that I needed to do, and now going into 2023 there's certain things that I need to do in order to see myself at a certain point at the end of 2023. So these are just things that I'm thinking about that I thought that I would share with you guys. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you got to this part, have a great week wherever you are, and have a lovely weekend. I will see you guys in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please do click that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you've already clicked on it, and share down below what have your struggles being abroad, if you are abroad, or if you just went traveling and you had some certain experiences as a traveler, as a tourist, as a foreigner, as an expat. What are some of the struggles that you had to go through? So let's chat about that down below. And if you guys have any other questions that you've got, you know what to do. Comment section. Bye.
I'm making plans, what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you, 'cause God knows that I've been longing for